everyone. Welcome to Voice It with Veronica. Thank you. Welcome to the show tonight. We've got a real treat for you tonight. Who likes a good villain? Me too. I mean, what is Superman without Lex Luthor, or Batman without the Joker, or the Avengers without an overly convoluted multi-dimensional time travel storyline? I know. Well, tonight we've got some of your favorite villains from some of your favorite stories. We've got everyone from evil queens and megalomaniacal tyrants to obnoxious children, and wait for it, Hades himself will be stopping by. So join us tonight for the Parade of Pariahs when we return after this message. Tonight, the Villians Voice It.
Hi. Are you Scar?
Yes.
Okay, go sit over there. Evil Queen?
Yes.
Can I take your cloak?
Yes, darling.
Mother Gothel? Can I take your cloak?
No. What? No!
First up, we have the Evil Queen. What she did to Snow White was horrible, but let's see what she has to say about it. Evil Queen, voice it.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? You might have heard me say that in a story about me and my daughter. My life has been poisoned with horrible events ever since my mother passed. I can't even imagine how hard it was on my father. What I do know was that he began to take out all his anger on me. He even began to call me ugly. And I mean, this is not ugly. My life was horrible until I met the dashing Prince Magnus, who soon became King Magnus. He called me the fairest maiden in all the land. We fell in love instantly, so we decided to get married right away. Then we had our bundle of joy, Snow. Sadly, my husband passed away from an illness. I did only what I knew to do, which was to distance myself from everyone, including Snow. It was during this time when one of my friends gave me a magical mirror that looked similar to one my father would make in his mirror shop. This mirror was different, however. It had a face on it that eerily reminded me of my father. I began to ask it who the fairest of them all was, and the mirror would reply, "You, my lady." I knew the mirror wouldn't lie, so I believed it. I began to ask it daily. It corrupted me. When the mirror said my daughter was the fairest, I was furious. And, well, you know the rest of the story. I believe. Oh, dear. My henchmen decided to be very difficult today. I better silence my phone. More mirror phone. I have the latest model.
Welcome, Evil Queen. Join us for a few questions. Is it true that your friend was the one that gave you the mirror?
Yes, actually, her name was Veronica. It's kind of funny, but I don't know where she got the mirror.
Oh, I wouldn't know either. I understand that you were furious when the mirror said that Snow was the fairest in the land. But you ordered your daughter to be killed. What could drive a mother to do that?
Well, it wasn't my fault. It was the mirror's fault. It corrupted me. It gave me peace when I thought my father loved me, when I knew he didn't. But all that peace was ripped away when it said my daughter was the fairest.
Well, you sure make that sound bad. Is that why you carry a mirror with you now as your phone? And does it say anything to you anymore?
Well, I haven't really thought about it like that, but I guess. But I do have it with me right now. If you're just begging for me to ask it, I will. You're begging, so I guess. Mirror, mirror, next to my head, tell me what Madame Mim just said. I cannot say this. We are on live television.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for joining us tonight, Evil Queen. Stay with us for our next guest. Okay, everyone, you'll never believe who we have next. Let me introduce you to Mother Gothel. Mother Gothel, it's your turn to voice it.
Thank you. Thank you. I am so pleased to be here. So, I'm sure you all think that I'm the bad egg, huh? I'm just teasing. I'm sure you all understand why someone would kidnap a baby, trap her in a tower, manipulate her, and use her for her powers, right? I really feel like people judge me when they hear my story. You don't even know how much of a handful she was, always trying to paint on everything. Even though she missed years of her youth and was taken away from her family and kingdom, it was really much harder for me. You know, I had a daughter. Her name was Cassandra. I did not like her at all. I left her when she was 4 years old. I was not cut out to be a mom, but to get the flower, I would do anything, even listening to that song over and over again. You wouldn't believe how many times we had to start the song over because her voice cracked. It was really hard for me to take care of her. You couldn't imagine how many tangles she had in her hair. Oh, after the show, I can show you this amazing leave-in conditioner brand I use. I swear by it.
Welcome, Mother Gothel. Are you in contact with the biological daughter you mentioned?
I've tried to reach out to her, but she hasn't really gotten back to me. So I think probably she has some bad cell reception.
Yeah.
Technology.
That's probably it. And when was the last time you saw Rapunzel?
The last time I saw Rapunzel was when she pushed me out of the window. I've also tried to contact her, but she never gets back to me. I think that Eugene guy is a little bit of a bad influence.
Yeah, I'm sure she would love to talk to you again. Are you aware whether the police have built a case to arrest you? You did kidnap the princess.
I'm sure they have. Everyone blames everything on me. It wasn't even my fault. Kind of.
Sure, okay. Well, thank you. Stay with us. All right, folks, I hope you're ready for our next guest. He can be very intimidating, but let me introduce you to Scar. Today is your day to voice it.
Greetings, you plebeian obscure sycophants. It is truly your privilege to be in my presence. Life is not fair, and it never will be. People always say I was jealous of Mufasa when the truth is hidden from you. And now I'm here to tell you my tale. The throne was mine, and Mufasa clawed my eye out for it. My actions would be justified if people would just listen to me like the hyenas. I was going to fix the Pride Lands, unite hyena and lions together. The Pride Lands would have reached its peak. Mufasa just banished us to starve in the elephant graveyard. The hyenas were cast as shadows. But don't even get me started on that rat of a nephew. Oh, how I despise Simba. Couldn't even bother to take care of him myself. Losing his father, it was an accident. I lost my grip. My paw slipped. What could I do? So now I come to you on this pestilential stage for this show of sorts, and I presume I have to sit in that poor excuse for a throne.
These chairs were expensive.
Not for my taste.
Really?
Well, Scar, you seem nice. Tell us, how did you get your scar?
For a short answer, I lost it in a fight with my brother for the crown.
I see. You could say that sounds scarring. Oh, it was a good one. It was a good one.
No,
And why did you want to be king?
it was my birthright, and Mufasa took it away from me.
Oh, okay. Sounds like a great brotherly relationship, eh? Well, do you regret what you did to Mufasa?
I regret nothing. He deserved everything that happened to him that day.
Okay, well, thank you for gracing us with your presence this evening, Scar.
You're welcome.
I know it was a big deal for you to come out of hiding. All right, folks, we're going to take a short break, and we'll be back to Voice It with the Villains after this.
Did you hear I got that nasty mouth?
I did. I was so excited.
Welcome back, my friends. I hope you're enjoying today's show. I know that I'm certainly learning a lot. You could call our next guest mythical. I wrote that one myself. It's so good. He's had many a story written about him and his family. Come on out, Hades, and voice it.
Hello, my name is Hades. You may know me from that Travesty of Justice Hercules movie. I want it to be known that I never intended to hurt baby Hercules. It was all his mom. She had issues. During the War of the Titans, my brothers and I freed the Cyclops and received gifts from our new allies. Zeus, the Thunderbolt, Poseidon, the Trident, and I received the Helmet of Invisibility. After the defeat of the Titans, we drew lots to see who would rule the three major realms, the sky, the sea, and the underworld. I was chosen to rule the underworld, and let's just say the Helmet of Invisibility comes real handy down there. People think I'm a bad guy just because I rule the underworld, but I'm no worse than the other gods. Take Zeus, for example. A lot of his offspring aren't his wives. I'm just saying, folks. I didn't have the best home life. I mean, my father did try to eat all of his children. He thought we would try to take over his kingdom or something. Luckily, my mother hid me. I only supervise the trial and punishment of the wicked after they die. I don't judge or torture them. I'm not the bad guy, I'm just doing my job. I don't venture out into the real world that often, so thanks for having me.
Nice to meet you. Well, Hades, we're honored to have you here, I think. Everyone thought you died at the end of your story, but you were really going to rule the underworld, right? Tell us about that and what that's like.
Well, I can't really die. I'm immortal, so I was just going down there and rolling everything. It was pretty sick.
Yeah, sounds sick. And why were you assigned to the underworld and not one of the other realms that were given to your brothers?
Well, like I said, we drew lots, but we thought it would be best that I got the underworld since I'm socially awkward and want to stay away from the public eye.
No, not at all. And how do you feel living in Zeus's shadow?
Again, it's pretty much for the best because no one thinks of me when they think of Greece and everything.
Okay, well, and last question. What is it like owning and taking care of a three-headed dog?
Well, it's a lot of money, but I was once the god of riches, so I'm pretty set.
Oh, yep, you're set. Well, thank you for joining us this evening. I won't be seeing you in the underworld, so it was nice to meet you here. All right, folks. I couldn't even believe it when my producer told me that we got this next guest on the show. This is an exclusive. Let me introduce you to Mordu. Mordu, voice it.
I am Mordu, the brave and admirable villain in the story of Merida Brave. I was a mighty warrior and the eldest of my 3 brothers. When my father became ill, he made the disgraceful choice of splitting us up into 4 armies. He thought that we'd make peace by protecting each side of the kingdom, but no, my right was taken away from me. I was supposed to be the king. My brothers and I waged war against each other until one day when I found a witch. She gave me a potion that could either heal or harm. I chose harm and accidentally turned myself into a bear. I then accepted my new form and slayed my brothers. I tried to get back to my army, but I couldn't speak and all I saw was a terrifying bear. I had no choice but to kill them all. I made it either the handsome, brave, strong warrior, me, or thousands of innocent soldiers. Of course, I couldn't let all this go to waste.
Hi. Mordu, tell us, why did you trust this witch?
You know, this witch had a pretty nice look to her. She's kind of hot, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah. And Mordu, why did you choose harm instead of healing when you were given the choice?
You know, healing's all this bubbly, positive crap. I mean, harm is just bloody and violence gets to kill people, you know, all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm, yeah, good stuff. And why do you consistently try to kill Merida?
You know, Merida is full of these little wisp things, and I thought, if I killed her, I can be freed. And I could go back to my handsome body, also redheads. Never really liked them.
Yep. Well, Mordu, it has been great having you on our show. Our backstage will never be the same. Everyone, our next guest does not have a stereotypical story. You know her from Enchanted, but here's her side. Come on out, Queen Nerissa, and voice it.
Bow down to me, foolish mortals. You may not know of me, but my name is Queen Nerissa. I'm from a story entitled Enchanted. In that story, I explained to you that my parents had passed away and that I needed someone, anyone, to bring me companionship. Therefore, I married Prince Edward's father. Soon after the union, I realized if my son, Prince Edward, married the girl he loved so very much, she would take my precious throne. And that just wouldn't do. I devised a plan and tricked her. I pushed her into a well, but it truly was an accident. I tripped. I would not call myself a villain, but I just simply would not like anyone else to rule over my village. It is my place. I have people to command, and they obey. I'm never lonely. My mother's last words were not to allow anyone else to rule over my throne. Now, you scoundrels, go. Leave my presence at once. I order you.
Well, you seem sweet. Queen Nerissa, did you ever plan to become a villain?
A villain? I would not call my dearly beloved self a villain. I just am loved, and I just do things the way I like.
Well, it's important to be confident. And where did you get your powers from?
I don't recall. All I remember is that I was born with them. You wouldn't believe how hard it is to control these mischievous powers.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't know. Was there a situation that caused you to make the choices that you made?
Well, when I was young, I'd say early 20s, my parents passed away. I guess my mother hadn't fully taught me how to rule over a kingdom. I probably ended up putting all that struggle and frustration out on Gazelle, that nasty princess.
Oh, I'm sorry? Would you ever reconsider making any of the choices that you made?
I would say no. Giselle still has a new guy as her husband. My son is very happy, and I'm still queen.
Sadly.
Well, you sure make it sound like it was a happy ending. What an interesting take on your story, Queen Nerissa. We'll be right back with our final 4 guests, everyone. Don't miss it.
This yours? Security!
Welcome back, everyone. Let me tell you, this next guest was one of the worst, spoiled, rotten kids I've ever met. I can't wait to hear her story. Her time at the Willy Wonka chocolate factory was a disaster. It's time for Veruca Salt. Veruca, voice it.
Hello, peasants. As you know, or may not know, I'm Veruca Salt. Some of you are most likely thinking that I'm the spoiled rotten girl who went to the chocolate dog's factory. You would be correct. You see, it's not completely my fault. When I was young, I was spoiled with all sorts of things. Gucci, Lamborghinis, diamonds, and of course squirrels. So when I stated I wanted the golden ticket, I was understandably frustrated that no one found it in a reasonable amount of time. Hence, when my daddy hired tons of people to find it. And that's just how I thought it was supposed to be. I had not been taught any different. That's just how my life was. He was supposed to keep me happy no matter the cost. Isn't that what parents are supposed to do? Now, I've got places to be, stuff to buy, and people to see. So let's make this snappy. You, give me a beverage. I expect a 5-star rating.
You don't have to get her a beverage. Hi, Veruca.
Hello.
I've been waiting for this one. Veruca, do you think you're spoiled? And has anything changed since then?
Spoiled is not a nice word. I mean, I guess you could say I'm spoiled. But aren't we all?
I don't think we are. And how old were you when you were at the chocolate factory?
I was 8 years old.
And I bet you've only gotten better since then.
Uh-huh.
If you could go back, would you?
That place was a dump. A spoiled, rotten dump. I would never go back. Unless I won. Then I would go back. That's a lot of money.
Of course. Veruca, why do you think villains choose to be evil? And can they change?
I mean, I certainly wouldn't know. But I do think villains choose to be evil, and it's because of anger and sadness. And clearly because of my backstage experience, they cannot change. It was terrible. I would like to speak to your manager after the show.
Well, Veruca, this has been just lovely. You've certainly given us such insight.
Oh, I'm sure.
Okay, everyone, it's time for one of the worst villains of all time. She has not been out in the presence of others for a very long time. But don't be nervous, just sit back, relax, and listen, because it's time for Maleficent to voice it.
Okay, I know what some of you are thinking. Get away from her because she turned into a dragon and cursed baby princess. But listen, you think you know the whole story of who I am. Well, guess what? You don't. So let me tell you. I was angry and I was hurt because humans killed my parents. I was left as an orphan. And then when I finally found a friend, Stefan, he betrayed me. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get upset. So yes, I was hurting. I'm not sorry for the things I did, and I'm not sure I ever will be. And if you think I did those things out of anger and just be mean, then you are just as foolish as the rest of them. I did it out of being hurt repeatedly. I've gone to therapy, and I've worked through these issues. I'm doing better. My therapist believes I can now be a normal member of society, so I'm very glad to be here tonight telling you my story. Thank you.
Welcome to Voice It with Veronica, Maleficent. Now tell us, even though you were hurting, why did you turn evil?
say I was evil, but you might get a different opinion from Aurora.
Yeah, I think I might. When you became evil, you could have done anything, so why did you curse a child?
Because I felt like ruining another child's life because mine was ruined. And cursing baby Princess, to be exact, that really got people's attention.
I'm sure it did. When Stefan cut off your wings, we know that made you sad, but why?
Because it made me different from all the terrible people that stood in my way all of these years.
I see. And why do you get so upset when you're angry?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get angry. But the answer to your question is, I don't really know. It's just something I've done since I was a baby. When I get upset, I get what I want.
Well, thank you for being here with us tonight, Maleficent. I know that it's extremely hard for you to be here since it's been a long time since you've been around people. So thank you for joining us tonight. All right, everyone. Our next guest is full of heart. I even laugh at myself sometimes. Welcome the Queen of Hearts, because it's her turn to voice it.
As you all know, or should know, I am the Queen of Hearts. Those of you who don't know me, well, off with your head. Anyway, I wasn't always a stunning version of myself. In fact, my sister is the real villain here. Once, when we were children, she stole the last cookie. It was mine. Then she lied to Mother and blamed the shenanigans on me. Yes, me. Of course, this next part was my choice, but I ran away. There, I said it. After that, I hit my head, and I don't seem to remember much, with the exception of what my evil sister did to me. I now stand before you as the superb, magnificent being. Say it, the Queen of Hearts is magnificent. You cards, go paint those roses red. The white ones are sickening. And you other cards, fix me a chair. I cannot be seen on television in that sorry excuse for a throne. Now, if you don't mind, I'm craving a cookie. Custodian, I command you bring me one before my interview.
Well, you seem nice. Please, have a seat. Welcome. Now, Queen of Hearts, tell us, what are some of your favorite hobbies?
Well, I do have a slight obsession of beheading people, but we all have our weird hobbies.
Yeah, just like I like to knit. And why do you want Alice specifically beheaded?
She's always messing up my life. She's ruining my, well, I was going to say plans, but they're more ideas that are perfectly beneficial to all my subjects.
Yeah. And why is your head so big?
I wouldn't say it's large. Also, how dare you? Well, if you're all going to find out anyway, I might as well tell the truth. When I was little, I ran away and I hit my head on a fountain in the center of town.
Sure you did. And why do you have such a bad temper?
Remind me to have Veronica beheaded after the show. Well, my sister, she stole the last cookie, and then she lied about it, and she just makes me so...
I'll get you the information from my therapist. She works wonders.
Sisters, am I right? Well, okay then. Your threat is not appreciated, nor will it be carried out. Security, be sure to escort this one and her card thugs off the premises. Our last guest is here to set the record straight. The battle she had with Merlin was one for the history books. Welcome to Madam Mim. Come on out and voice it.
You forgot marvelous. But anyway, so many people blame me for breaking all my rules when battling Merlin. And yet, his only rule no cheating. However, in my defense, he broke one of my rules and turned into a germ. It made me very sick. All I wanted to do was destroy Merlin, or make him forfeit. But aren't they the same thing? But then he decided to give me a disease. I mean, I was so sick, I wasn't sure I would be able to be here. So who really was the bad guy there? And I hate all things wholesome and the sunlight. I'm certainly glad your show is filmed at night. Oh, and by the way, my butt still hurts from getting rammed by Merlin's horns when he turned into a ram. Ain't you got better seats than that?
She has a point.
And the rocks. And the only reason I wanted that bad Merlin curse to be sick was because I love it when others are sick. It was actually me who played those tricks backstage. Honestly, who is better at magic? I didn't see Merlin standing on a broom and flying around. That is what makes me the magnificent, the marvelous, the mad Mim!
You forgot melodramatic. But anyway, why do you hate Merlin so much?
That is like asking Tennessee fans why they hate Alabama so much. It is simply because we want to be the best.
What an oddly specific example on our show. And why do you change into animals?
Because I'm old and ugly.
No kidding. Right, that's true. You could use a touch-up.
And you could use a smaller head, yet here we are.
And why do you break your own rules?
Okay, honestly, did I really specify I had to follow the rules? And I said no pink dragon, so I turned into a purple one.
Oh, that makes it much better.
I'm not sure Merlin would feel the same. If he were here right now, what would you say to him?
Want a rematch?
No. Oh, but not here. Our backstage cannot handle any more violence. Well, we're glad that you all joined us tonight. We really enjoyed hearing from the magnificent, marvelous, mad Madam Mim.
That's a tongue twister.
Madam Mim ate all the cookies.
Madam Mim ate all the cookies.
What do you mean she ate the last cookie? This cannot be happening. What do I do?
I'll get you the emergency information from my therapist. I think we can get you in right away.
I will end you.
Well, everyone, we've made it to the end of another great show. Now it's my turn to voice it. John 3:16 tells us that God has already made the greatest sacrifice anyone could offer so that we could be forgiven of sin and leave a life of evil behind. We have a choice to accept that gift or not. Though our villains each had their own reasoning for how their stories played out, they all made a choice to do evil things. We all have that choice. Joshua 24:15 reminds us to choose each day whom we will serve. Will you choose Christ and eternal life, or the enemy and his wicked ways? James 4:7 flat out says, resist. Resist the devil and he will flee. But sometimes we forget the first part of that verse. Submit yourselves to God. We cannot resist alone. We can't always do what's right on our own. A lot of times the right choice is also the hardest choice. But the good news is that we're not alone. Salvation belongs to our God, and the enemy has been cast down. God gives us the strength through his salvation to do what is right, even when wrong has been done against us. This has been Voice It with Veronica. Thank you for joining us, and good night, folks.